Hello, everyone. Thank you for following the Leading with Respect podcast. And this is the first episode where I'm going to really just do a solo. I'm firstly very grateful to the 28 or so guests I've had so far on the show through about half of last year, and I'm going to continue to bring great guests to you this year. But today, I just want to take a moment to share my own reflections on why I created this and a refresher on some of the writing I did before that's in this article and just frame this as we get into 2026. So, as you'll see in this article, I'm going to share with you an experience I had that really hit me this morning. I was very fortunate. I am very fortunate that I get to walk the beach in LA. I live in Torrance, California. And it just dawned on me, the fear of riptides is something that I've experienced and my kids have experienced. And I think if you ever experienced that, when you can't seem to pull yourself out of the water, is extremely frightening. And so to me, that's like a metaphor for what we're experiencing globally right now. On the employment front, with both the positives and the fear of the age of AI and the impact on employment, on lots of layoffs, especially in the tech industry in 25, and many more to come, I'm sure, as we go forward. Lots of forecasts of how, there's going to be a big reduction in force. But on the positive side, there's lots of talk about the new skills we have to gain. That's what I'm most passionate about with the respect quotient. And so my invitation to you is to please follow this and listen to all the great leaders that I'm inviting to share a very simple concept. How do you define respect in the workplace? How do you know when it's there? How do you know when it's not? And then their top 3 tips at the end. That's the format that I've followed so far, and I'm going to continue to do that, at least in 2026, leading up to a book as a form of research. I am a market researcher by trade at first, and then learning and development, organizational development as a consultant now. So back to that metaphor. I feel that the metaphor plays really well with that fear of not knowing when layoffs might happen, not knowing if you would be the one impacted. And when they do happen, those that remain, that remorse or just not knowing how to navigate that survival guilt, I hear quite often happens. And am I the next one? So my invitation to you as we unpack the respect quotient that I'll do in a series of short videos in the coming days, and you'll have that to see as short videos on the channel on YouTube and just on YouTube, not the podcast. But I'll explain the framework, but really the essence of it is, can we slow down? Yeah, just like that. I don't know about you, but I'm an extrovert, and taking that pause is very uncomfortable for me. Whereas for my introvert friends, they breathe when I do that. So that metaphor of the riptide just really hits me as, what do you actually do? You don't fight it, but instead you go parallel with it, and you find what's within your power in terms of how to navigate and how to thrive. I would say in the last 10, 20 years, especially in the space of employee engagement, a lot has been said about thriving in work. A lot of chief people officers, yes, I do encourage you to use that term, because we're not human resources, we're human beings. So thank you to the organizations that have retooled to chief people officer. And it's not just a buzzword, it's nothing political, it's not about right or left. It's just being respectful, because we're not resources. Even though the industrial age is a very long time ago when it all started, in many ways, some employers still treat their people as resources. Let's reframe that, and we can do it one leader at a time. That's what I'm committed to. So as you just grapple with this concept of that riptide, think about whether you relate to that and what it feels like if you've ever experienced it. If you haven't, I encourage you to look up some videos of how frightening that is and how much fear comes up in terms of, oh my gosh, this may be the end. And so with careers, a lot of people are wondering, is this the end of my career? And my invitation is, heck no. Humanity is not getting extinguished overnight, as far as I know. So it's going to take courage. It's going to take conviction. It's going to take resilience. And so the respect quotient is not a soft skill. It's definitely a hard skill. And I'm looking for people to really embrace this as a way for us to have the deeper conversations that I judge are missing. And as you'll see in the Harvard Business Review top articles of 2025, not only is AI being used, but the biggest reason AI is, biggest purpose of using AI is for therapy. Wow. I mean, really breathe into that. What a lonely state for us to be relying on technology to deal with our emotions. Please, my friends, reach out to a friend. Make a friend if you don't have one. Talk to a stranger in the grocery store, on an airplane, or wherever you are, and get curious to get to know them. That's the heart of this whole thing, the respect quotient. It's just a tool for us to have those deeper conversations, especially when we don't see eye to eye. And please, I really implore you, don't use the term, let's agree to disagree. It's one of my pet peeves. To me, that statement is, I'm going to give up. Yes, I've done that. For your safety, my safety, sometimes we have to do that. But before we get to that point, there is this tool, the respect quotient. Go practice it, reach out to me if I can help. And I'd love to support you so that you can use it as a way to really get better at how we communicate with each other. Thank you. And the next episode will be with a fantastic guest, but I just wanted to kick this off. And occasionally I'll do solo episodes of the Leading with Respect podcast. Make it a great day, folks.